Okay, chapter 9. So, in the last chapter, Celeste and Jack were having sex in Jack's house because Jack's father works, so they have like a 2-hour window to do stuff. But Jack's father has come home early, and they are currently in the bathroom, and she is currently doing something to Jack, and we'll just leave that up to your imagination. Whatever you want to imagine there. You shouldn't want to imagine anything. So they're doing that. They hear the door. Jack's father's home. And his name is Buck. So Celeste tells Jack to go out there and meet him and basically stall so that she can get herself presentable. And then she walks out to meet him. I still can't find my glasses. Gratefully, Buck and Jack Patrick look nothing alike. At 14, Jack was already as tall as Buck, who stood squat and front-loaded with a growing beard gut that seemed to force apart his hips and made his legs seem even smaller and further back upon his body than they really were. His light brown hair had the barbershop haircut shape of a young boy's standard trim. It was shaved slightly too close on the sides. When I walked in and extended my hand, he made a show of looking me up and down from my head to my feet and back again. It was only then that I realized I hadn't put my shoes back on. I'd left them under Jack's bed. So Buck's kind of like the typical booze-blooded American. He just likes to... He works hard and he plays hard, you know? And if he's flipping through the channels and he just happens to come across a movie and there's boobies on the screen, he's going to watch the rest of that movie. And he says, I did not have teachers like you back in my day. I'll tell you that right now. Jack, do you realize how lucky you are? You got no idea, Buck. You got no idea. So Celeste explains that the reason she's there is she lives close by, and Jack has a research paper that's getting very close to a solid outline, is how she put it. So she's there to help him with his schoolwork. So she's trying to get out of there, but her shoes are still under Jack's bed, so she's kind of stuck at the moment. And Buck suggests that she stay for dinner because they were about to order some takeout. Even though she's wearing a wedding ring, that doesn't stop old Buck. So he says, "Now, are you married, or just married?" No shame in his game. Damn, that's a wild thing to say to a woman wearing a wedding ring. I mean, it's just jewelry. You can take it off if you want. If it makes you feel bad to look at it during, you can take it off. It's fine. I got Dawn dish soap. If it's too tight, if you've been wearing it too long. And he tells her that marriage can be so confusing. And sometimes you need to just let off a little steam. I can't imagine why Buck's not married anymore. While Buck is showing her the menu, the takeout menu, she motions for Jack to go get her shoes. So he sneaks off and gets them. I sat across the table from Jack during dinner, loving the way he shunned chopsticks in favor of a fork, as though sex had made him so hungry he couldn't bother with anything that compromised his ability to shovel food in his mouth. At one point I took my food... The sentence before that said food. So I said food. You want to go out and get some food later? Pretty hungry. That sounds like something Quentin Tarantino would say. At one point I took my foot out of my shoe and ran it up his leg, rubbing front to back again and again along his crotch, while Buck spoke of upcoming concerts that his company could get box seats tickets to. Watching Jack eat made the conversation bearable. His lips became visibly flavored with oil and sauce, and I delighted in the torture of knowing just what they tasted like by eating the food. By the time Buck asked if I could stay for dessert, though, my patience had been sufficiently used up. I struggled through that one. I just learned how to read last year, so I'm trying to catch up. You know, I'm a recovering iPad baby. I was as soon as I came out, they just put that screen right in front of my face. you know. I've just been watching TikToks ever since. But I'm getting better. I only watched like 50 this morning. And then after that kind of, you get that kind of like, you feel like there's like a veil of stupid hanging over your face. And you kind of got to walk around and shake it off a little bit. I shook it off. And now I'm reading literature. This is literature. So later, Jack has an idea. He thinks he's discovered a way for her to be at the house a lot, and it won't seem suspicious to Buck. And that basically just to lead him on, and act like she's interested, act like she's only helping Jack with his schoolwork, but she's secretly interested in Buck, and that'll kind of appease him, or just at least make him look the other way. So he basically suggests that she kind of like dates him, but like, doesn't do anything to, says she wants to take her time, or, she feels weird about it because, that pesky marriage thing. And Celeste basically tells him that that won't last, because at some point she's going to have to reject him, or she's going to have to give in. But eventually she does decide to give it a try. It could work, I figured. I'd explained to Buck that I'd never had an affair and probably never could. That I wasn't looking for anything physical, and he needed to understand that. I was simply looking for a friend. And of course I'd mentioned he was free to date and sleep with whomever he wanted. Dating wasn't what he and I were doing, I'd explained. I was just getting some space from my husband. So now Jack's pumped. He's super excited about it. He even says, this is going to be so cool. Which, you still got to feel for Jack. He's so confused and so horny. He's so horny he thinks that this is all, this is good. I'm fucking my teacher, but to throw my dad off the scent, my teacher is going to pretend to date him while he ogles her and tries to touch her and stuff. But that's okay, because my dad's not the one getting it. I'm the one getting it. And that was chapter 9.